Okay, this video is about loading the tools in the FADAL machine. In class we talked about two different methods. One of them is a method that as you get more and more experience you're going to find it's the best way to do it. It's the quickest way to do it and it gives you a lot of flexibility. The second method I'm going to demonstrate is really very similar to the Haas machines. We just simply enter tool numbers and load tools directly into the spindle. The first method though, we're going to load tools directly in the tool changer. It's much faster. If you have a large number of tools, it's a great way to do that. To open the tool changer up so that I can load tools, I need to be in a command prompt. This machine we talked about in class, by pressing the manual key, I can go to two different modes of operation. One, it says enter next command. This is looking for an official FADAL command. If I press the manual button again, basically I go into MDI, or manual input. I'm going to go to the command prompt, so if it doesn't say enter next command, press the manual button a time or two until you get there. The command to open the tool changer is TC, 1. TC would be tool changer. The option 1 would be to open the tool changer. Now before I press the enter button here, I want to make sure there is not a tool straight across from that spindle. There's no tool in the tool changer right now, but if there were a tool right across from that spindle, the tool changer, because of its action, would crash when I open it up. So you always want to be sure, if it happened to be a tool there, we have an option to move our tool turret left and right, clockwise and counterclockwise. We can move that position out of the way. Now I'm going to open the tool changer. I have TC, 1. I'm going to press enter. This says enter next command. So the command is TC, 1. Enter. And the tool changer opens. Now right now there's no tools in the tool changer. So I'm going to load some in. Here's a reamer. Again, notice the two slots have to be lined up exactly. This tool holder has a short pull on it. This will not work in the Haas. The Haas clamp will not properly engage that holder. So you cannot interchange holders between machines. What we want to do is take and hold this tool in our hand, line the slot up away from you. We're going to reach in the tool changer. There's a kind of a finger like that. We're going to slide this right in between that finger up against a cog in there. So it's actually going to go right in and line in just like that. So I'll put that in there, push the tool in. You should have just a little shake to it when you're through, but that tool is properly aligned. Now I'm going to put the second tool in. Now the tool changer, here are buttons to index the tool change. Turret clockwise, turret counterclockwise. This clockwise and counterclockwise is always referenced by what is driving that tool changer. In this case, the motor that turns the tool changer is on top. So I'm looking down at the tool changer. I want to bring that tool towards me. The way it's set up is tool 1 is here, tool 2 is the next tool back, tool 3 is the next tool back, and so forth. So I'm going to use turret clockwise. Notice the tool changer brings this tool to me. The indexer turned clockwise. I've got another tool that's a drill. Again, I'm just going to grab it underneath here, be sure that this slot is lined up, and I'm going to engage those fingers. Very simple. Turret clockwise. We'll put one more in there. Remember, I suggest putting a chuck in so you'll have something to run your edge finder with. So again, I'm holding exactly right. I'm going to put it in there and just press it in there. There should be a slight vibration. You might can see this little tab back here, and you can see these fingers that go in between here, right here. It's real simple just to line that up, push it back in that little slot and line it up. Now I'm going to close the tool changer. Before I close the tool changer, I want to bring the tool back to tool number 1. So in order to do that, I'll do turret counterclockwise. Now the spindle is setting over tool 1 right now. On the screen it says hit manual to get the tool changer back to home, or to close it. So I'm going to hit the manual button. The first tool is in the spindle. Now one thing I really need to say about the FADAL machine, it is a sequential tool changer, which means tools are located tool 1, 2, 3 in order. Another really nice thing about it is I can set tool 1 to be any pocket out there. So what happens is I can set a group of tools for one job. I can move over and set another group of tools for another job. I can have another group of tools for another job. I may have 3 or 4 jobs, tools loaded in the tool changer. And all I have to do is make sure that the tools that I want, I've got the correct tool to be number 1. So what happens here is this tool is in a random pocket. So what I'm going to do is I need to know what is the tool number that the machine is thinking about. I think it's tool number 1, but the machine may think it's something else. In order to see that, right now I happen to be in the command prompt. I'm going to hit the manual button, and it says tool 4 is in the spindle. Now that's left over from last semester, so the machine is thinking that's tool 4. It's really tool 1. So it's up to us to tell it that's now tool 1. The way we do it, press the manual key. Manual is kind of like your toggle switch. The command to set that tool as number 1 is S-E-T-T-O, set tool. I'm going to type S-E-T-T-O, press enter. When I press the manual button this time, it says tool number 1 is in the spindle. That's very important, because if your program called up tool number 1 and you did not make that change, what's going to happen is it's going to go to the wrong place. It's a great function because you can have several programs set up. Just index to the first tool and set that as tool number 1. When you run the other set of tools, move over to that position, set it as number 1, and so forth. It's a great way to do things, okay? To get the tools out of here, we can take them out just like we put them in. I'm going to open the tool changer. I'll go back to my command prompt. The command to open the tool changer, probably all of you know, is going to be TC, tool changer, comma, 1. I always look and make sure there's not a tool directly across from the tool changer. Come in with the camera. I want you to see why I don't want a tool directly across from this. This is going to move straight in. If there's a tool there, this head is going to crash against that tool. I'm not going to demonstrate that. I'll probably do it somewhere during the semester. But if you'll just notice the motion of the tool changer, if there's a tool there, it would come over and crash into that. I'm going to open the tool changer. I've done TC, comma 1. I'm going to do the enter. Did you see that motion? It would have crashed had we not checked that. I'm going to reach in and just take the tool out. Take that one out. Again, I'll go turret clockwise. Can you see how fast this would be if you had a large number of tools to load? I'm going to go turret clockwise again. Take that out. All tools are out. I'll just close the tool changer up, and that part of it's done. That's the first method. That is by far the fastest way, and once you begin to get comfortable with this machine, that's how you'll want to load the tools. There is a second method. It takes a little more time to do it, but it works exactly like what other machine we have? Haas machines, okay. In order to do that, we're going to use the manual or the MDI commands. So our manual on this button is the same as MDI. I'll hit that button. I do not see a command prompt, so now what I want to do is enter actual CNC code to change a tool. Remember, the Haas machine is a new control. All I did was say T1 and hit the turret button, and it changed the tool. This is an older control, so I have to enter the full command to change a tool. The full command to change a tool is T1M6. That's the full CNC command to change a tool. I'm going to press enter. Now, usually on these commands, when I'm doing manual commands, the first command, I get a little command up here that says waiting. That tells me the machine is ready for further action. I just need to press the start button. Notice it's going to move to what it thinks is tool position number 1. So there's none of this having to guess what tool you are. It went to tool position number 1. At this point, I would grab the tool. Again, I would reach under there and align the tabs as before. Hold the tool in there. I'm going to load into the spindle. Over here on this machine, it says tool in and out. It's a little bit of a stretch, but they didn't put a button over there. And on some of the Haas machines, there's not a button over on the machine. If it's a larger machine, they've really put a nice button over there to work with. But some of them, you just have to look on the control and find it. I'm going to align the tabs. I'm going to press tool in and out. That tool is in there. I'm going to load tool number 2. So I'm still in the manual mode. I'm going to go T2 M6. Again, the full CNC command. This time when I press enter, it'll do the change automatic. Again, I'll line up the tabs on the tool changer, hold it up there, I'll press tool in and out, and just load through the spindle. It works exactly like the Haas. So a lot of people have trouble keeping 2 different methods going. This is a simple way that's always going to work. I can go ahead and load all my tools in. When I get through with that, I could actually go and take the tool out, tool in and out. I want to come back and get this first tool out, so I would go, I'm still in the manual mode, I'm going to go T1, M6. It would bring that tool up. Now while I'm on the FADAL, I need to show you one thing. We got a tool in there, but how do we make it turn? If I just, there's a button over here that says spindle on and off. If I press that button, nothing happens. So for that, you got to have a teacher to teach you how to do it. I am in the manual mode, MDI. If you see enter next command, this will not work. You have to be in the manual mode. Remember, you toggle with the manual key. To turn on the spindle, I have to use a full CNC command. How would I turn on the spindle? M3, clockwise, S, let's say 1,000. M3, S1000. Now could you go S1000, M3? Sure could. It doesn't matter to the CNC machine. I'm going to press enter, and the spindle starts turning. I'm going to turn the spindle off. Now here's the neat part. If you hit spindle on again, it doesn't come back on. I'm going to show you the secret of the ages. Hold down the shift key, spindle on, comes back on. This is really nice, believe it or not. If you're in the middle of working on something, somebody comes by and hits that button, it's not going to go unless they really know what they're doing. Off, just turn it off. Once you get the speed entered in and the direction entered in, all you have to do is hold the shift down and spindle on and off. It comes right back in. I'm going to take this tool out. In order to demonstrate this, I'm going to use the jog command. I'm going to move the table out of position slightly. X is out of position, the Y is out of position, and the Z is out of position. Just like on the Haas machines, when we got through using the machines, we pulled our tools out and we set the machine back to the machine home. On the Haas machine, we use power up restart. On this one, we need to use a couple of commands to do this. So I'll go to the command prompt. If you don't say enter next command, if you don't see that, press manual. If you still don't see it, hit manual again. Keep hitting it until you see enter next command. This needs to be a valid FADAL command. Now I'll just take just a second before I complete this. I've been away from Haas machines a long time, and people would call me in the shop and say, what do I do to do this? And I wouldn't remember those silly commands. There's one command you can know about the Haas that'll make you the expert in a hurry. The command is MU for menu. When I press that, I get an index for the whole manual right there. MU. So if I was talking about changing tools or cold start or anything here, I could go into that page and I could actually read. If I was looking at the tool changer, I could go find out about that TC, comma 1 or those types of things. MU is a great thing to do. It says press manual when you're through. In order to shut this machine down, I would want to do a couple of commands here. I've written them on the machine. One of them is SETCS, set cold start. I want to reestablish machine home. You're going to be moving this machine around and setting another origin point. I want to reestablish machine home. So the command here is SETCS, set cold start. When I do this, we've reestablished the home. We still haven't had it move any. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the command HO. Now this is about the only time in CNC you're not going to see a letter and a number. This is HO for home. When I press enter, notice the machine says waiting, and anytime it says waiting, it's waiting on input from you. Before I press cycle start, I would look and be sure that things are what they need to be. Because when you press the button, it's going to do just what you said. So I'm going to take the tools out of the machine just so they won't fall and break. When I press the start button, the machine should move back to the cold start position. And if I were to check all three indicators, they're right where they need to be. We would then go back to the back and kill the power on the machine, and this machine is, we've taken it all the way up, power up. We've loaded tools using two different methods. And we powered out. The next lesson will be setting tool offsets.